Good morning. Today I'm going to talk you through the staging questions that you might get in your C3A set text exam with EDUQAS drama. So the staging questions are often big 15-mark questions. Sometimes they come up as 10-mark questions, but sometimes you might get really short mark questions where they just ask you to identify what stage type is being shown in the diagram. This is the type of question which you may expect to see in your exam. As a designer, choose one of these stages and describe in detail your set design for this extract. You should justify your ideas with reference to the original staging. In your answer, refer to your choice of stage and audience position, production style, set and props, including use of colour. For today, we're just going to focus on your choice of stage and audience position. So, the definition of a stage type is purely the layout of the stage. And for EDUQAS drama, we learn about 4 different kinds of stage that we're going to go through in this video. A ground plan is a diagram demonstrating the stage type. So it's a bit of a bird's eye view looking down on the stage. And sometimes you'll be asked to identify what stage type is being shown through the ground plan. The first kind of stage is a proscenium arch stage. This is quite a traditional form of staging that we see if we visit the theatre. You may have been to the West End and seen these beautiful theatres with all sorts of decoration on the ceiling and around the space. But a proscenium arch stage is any stage where you have the actors over here and the audience facing, usually in rows, towards the actors. Sometimes we refer to this as the fourth wall because imagine we have 4 different walls around the actors who very rarely interact with the audience in this kind of production. The apron is a space just in front of the stage curtains where somebody may stand to introduce the show. But if you have any stage type where the actors are positioned on a stage and the audience are simply facing the actors, then we can refer to this as a proscenium arch stage. Next, we have performing in the round. You can see there the ground plan on the left shows that the audience is situated all the way around the stage position. On the stage we have 4 entrances and exits, so they're diagonally opposite each other, and this is the space where the actors may come on and to exit the stage at different times in the performance. Sometimes an in the round stage will be looking like a circle, and at other times it may look like a square. As long as the audience is surrounding the stage, then we can refer to this as in the round. The next type is a thrust stage. We can remember this one quite easily because it thrusts forwards in towards the audience. So we have a small amount of stage at the back, just like a traditional proscenium arch, but then we have this catwalk style space in front where the actors can come out and be in the audience. As we see on the ground plan, any stage which has the audience facing 3 directions towards it can be classed as a thrust stage. So you have some people on this side, some people on the other side, and then other people looking in a traditional view straight ahead. Finally, we have a traverse stage, which is a bit like a catwalk. You have 2 parallel lines of audience facing each other, and then the stage in the middle can either be very wide or very narrow, but the actors would perform in the middle there. So I've linked a video down below which explains the basic process that a designer will go through when they are designing a performance. Obviously it's the job of the designer and sometimes the director as well to come up with a visual language and to come up with a vision for the play. Your decision of which stage type to choose will greatly influence the audience's experience of the play. So this video might help you to understand a little bit more about how that process happens. These are the different things that a designer may have to think about when they're choosing a stage type. Who is in the scene? What's happening? What time of day is it? What era is the play set in? And are there any key stage directions or instructions which you need to take a note of? So if somebody comes through a door or somebody comes out of a hedge, for example, in DNA we have Adam crawling out of a hedge, then we might need to take note of that direction so that we know what set and what stage to design. Basically, we're talking about the given circumstances, Stanislavski's 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why. So in the exam, if you were posed with this question, as a designer, choose a stage and describe in detail your reasoning for this extract, the first thing you'd need to do when reading the extract is to consider, what are the 5 W's? What do I need to take into account before I start planning my idea? The final thing I'm going to discuss in this video is the original staging for DNA by Dennis Kelly. So the question will ask you to refer to the original staging for the production. DNA by Dennis Kelly was first performed in 2008 at the National Theatre in London. It was performed in the smallest theatre within the National Theatre, which is called the Cottlestowe Theatre, but it's now been renamed to be called the Dorfman Theatre. So in 2008 it was known as the Cottlestowe, and now it's known as the Dorfman. The designer was Simon Dorr, and below I've just linked you a website where Simon explains a little bit more about his design. It's important to note that you are not comparing Simon's design with your own design ideas, but instead you're being asked to create your own idea with reference to the original staging. So don't worry too much about focusing on this, but you just need to have an awareness of how DNA was first performed. So the main thing to remember, you need to learn the names of these 4 stage types: the proscenium arch, in the round, thrust staging and traverse staging, and you need to think about what the advantages are of each of these kinds of stages.